here in the Durango Goodwill, getting ready to do some thrifting. Unfortunately, I locked my keys in my car, and I'm about 45 minutes away from home, but thank God my dad is around. He's gonna run a spare set of keys up for me. Great way to start the day. That's all right, shit happens. Hopefully I'll find more good luck thrifting here today. Well, I burned through a bunch of polo shirts and long sleeve and even a rack of dress shirts and haven't found much of anything. Today is a Monday though, and Mondays are very hit and miss at this Goodwill because the weekend crowd sometimes just depletes this store, or sometimes they've got it good and stocked up. So hopefully I'll fall into something. I still got quite a bit to look through, but so far not so good today. Not anything in the clothing section, but I got these SAS Shelly sandals. They got a 42% sell-through rate. They are priced up. And then I was lucky enough to find these guys here, these On Clouds. They are also priced up at 12 bucks, but I always have good luck with On Clouds, so I'm gonna scoop both these pairs of shoes. I love Roback. This is a woman's piece, and it does appear to have some outside embroidery. I think that's outside embroidery. It might have actually came with the shirt. But this bad boy is $7.99, but it is 30% off, so you best bet I'm grabbing it because it's got that puppy. In the kitchenwares aisle, just trying to see if I can't find something cool, some cast iron, some Le Creuset, anything like that. But not seeing much of that today, so gonna go ahead and probably hit the road. Fortunately, my dad was able to bring the keys up to me and help me out. He's a lifesaver. Ready to walk into Methodist Thrift. Let's hope for better. These men's chacos, they are $6. Usually I get about 32, 35 bucks for these. All right, this is a kids outdoor research hiking hat. It's only a few dollars. I do good on outdoor research hats, whether it's beanies or whatever it might be. So we'll grab it. All right, I got these men's chacos. They are $6. Usually I get about 32, 35 bucks for these. Quick hard goods run through. Not seeing much here. That's all right. Just one of those days up here. Hadn't done too good, but it's Monday. We'll chalk it up to that. This is an old Pyrex refrigerator bowl. They got it priced up a little more than I want to pay for it, and it's a little beat up, so I'm gonna skip on it. If it had its lid, I'd probably grab it. All right, just happened to cruise through the boys section and found these Cody James Western jeans. They're only $3. I probably can make 15 bucks off these or something close to that, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab them. Well, not that great up here in southern Colorado this morning. I did all in all come away with 6 items, so it's something to list at least for tomorrow. But I have been a little bit more particular about what I've been spending my money on, just because garage sales are starting to pop off in northern New Mexico. The weather is prime for that, and hopefully this weekend I'm going to get into a whole bunch of good ones. So I'm going to go ahead and wind this video down. I think I will make this another 2-part video just because I didn't find a whole lot today. So I will resume this video again tomorrow and share with you what I find. Welcome back, friends. It is the next day. I'm right outside of my local Goodwill. Gonna race in here and see if I can't find anything good to resell online, and I'd like to share it with you. All right, in men's dress shirts, starting off the morning, hoping I'm gonna find something great like a Ralph Lauren purple label. There's a Ralph right there. That's extra large and tall. This actually might be worth a grab, but they've got it priced kind of high. All right, so this is a Gap Lamb's Wool Fair Isle sweater. I went ahead and looked it up, and unfortunately, probably because it's Gap, it just doesn't have much of a sell-through rate, and that might be kind of skewed because we're heading into springtime. It's only $6. I thought about picking it up and putting it in my winter death pile. I'm gonna have to think on this one. Hate to pass wool, but not a great sell-through rate and hard to decipher it. Hammered through just about every section, the hard goods, the shoes, the clothes. I'm in the kids section now, which is my last resort of desperation, but that's how it goes some days here in my local community thrifting. Fashion strike out here in my local community at my local Goodwill, but that's no surprise. That's okay though. I'm excited about the garage sales that are going to be coming up this weekend. We're supposed to have some really great weather, and anytime that happens, that's always a good sign that we'll have people out with signs and boxes trying to sell their used stuff. And buying stuff at yard sales, garage sales is tremendously cheaper. So I have been trying to be a little bit more particular and hold my coin for things that are going to cost me less. And that's something I suggest you do. If you're only thrifting, you're definitely probably paying up. Get out there this spring, this summer, and hit the garage sale scene, the yard sale scene, the estate sale scene. You will save a lot of money, especially if you're doing this to live off of. And that's very imperative, is that you get your stuff for cheap. So always keep those costs down. Well, I'm sitting right outside of the Secondhand Wolf thrift store here in Farmington, New Mexico, where I call home, or at least on the outskirts of where I call home. I'm gonna race in here. I don't buy a lot in here, as I've said in past videos, but they do give me some good deals once in a while when I find something worthy of a barter. And so I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed and hope I can find something. All right, I'm mobbing on shoes first, and they got a pretty small shoe rack, and I hate cleaning shoes and selling shoes, so I'm not gonna get too upset if there's nothing. All right, burned through the men's clothing, just kind of looking through outerwear for women, see if they got anything. It's an old vintage yellow beam parka, but not the time of year to sell something like this, and it's not down-filled, and it's kind of old and beat up, so definitely walking on this guy. But for the right price, the right materials, I don't mind buying a jacket this time of year to stash in my winter death pile. But might be a lost cause here today. So don't sleep on curling irons. These are all kind of junky, but really high-end models that are pre-owned can still fetch you some money. And that's not something I flip a whole lot of, but I always try to look at those things. They're easy to list, easy to ship, and generally don't get too many returns as long as they're functional. Another strikeout, but that's no surprise. My local market is just fickle when it comes to consistency with finding good stuff to list and resell. So I'm gonna go ahead and burn down the road, maybe make one more stop. Might just have to film some more footage again tomorrow, because yeah, I haven't found anything. All right, I got one last ditch effort to hopefully find something to buy to resell online. I'm right outside of the Arc thrift store here in my hometown. This is a thrift store I don't come to much because it opens up much later in the day. That and the prices aren't usually that good, but desperate times call for desperate measures. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't round something up. A shirt worth the grab, and generally I don't buy too much Columbia, but I have done well on their fishing shirts if the buy-in price is there. And the big reason I'm getting this, guys, is it's a 3XT, and it is pretty clean. I hate buying white. I'm gonna go ahead and grab it because it's only $3. One reason I don't come to this thrift store a whole lot is that the shoes are extremely overpriced, and while I'm not crazy about selling shoes, they're just way overpriced. Excuse me. So clothes seems to be the best take at this place, and we go back over there and dig through some of those. Grab, but this marine layer shirt is a raglan sleeve, but unfortunately it's missing the buttons. And I do pretty good on marine layer, but don't want to sell this without buttons, so I'm gonna walk these hats, hoping for some old Dale Earnhardt vintage hat, or maybe like an old vintage snapback football team, baseball team. Nothing like that. Well, just got back home, and today was definitely a big strikeout in every at-bat at every thrift store I went to, but that's all right. That's the nature of thrifting in a smaller rural market, and I'm glad for days like these that I can share with you the realistic outlook. I'm not a reseller that fills up a shopping cart every day. I'm a reseller that at certain times of the year really has to scrap it out to find anything to sell to live off of. But a lot of my model, or a lot of how I operate my business, is to garage sale and yard sale, and to store a lot of items and save those items for the winter months. And oftentimes, if I have enough items, it will carry me through this harder time of the year. Unfortunately, this year I kind of ran out of my death pile right after the holiday, so it has been a little bit of a struggle, but that's okay because I'm making money working for myself, and that beats the hell out of slavery. Most of you would know that. And so the light in all of this is that the garage sale season is about to pop off. And one huge success for today is that I was actually filming at the Arc thrift store and had a gentleman walk up to me a little bit later and ask me if I was Zach, the guy that sold online, and his name was JB. So JB, I appreciate you shouting me out, you big old dude. I wish you luck on your reselling endeavor. Anytime I have somebody walk up and notice me, it just makes me feel good for all the effort and time I've invested in sharing on YouTube and on the Underground Safari channel. And so it just makes me feel like it's worth it. But I definitely believe in giving back. And when you share things, when you're honest with people, and when you give, you will always receive somewhere down the road. So I believe in that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and cut film, but I'm going to stretch this into a third day, as I will be back up in Durango, Colorado tomorrow morning thrifting. And that always is a better bet for me to find stuff to share with you, the viewing audience. So if you've made it this far, please reach out there and hit a like button for me. I'd appreciate it. And hopefully tomorrow will be better. So we'll resume the... Welcome back, friends. It is day 3 of this video, and I'm sitting right outside my favorite thrift store here in Durango, Colorado. That would be the Goodwill. And so I'm going to race in here, try to grab up some stuff to sell online. As always, I'll try to share with you the brand, what I pay for it, what the material's made of, why I like to buy that brand, and hopefully I'll do better than the last few days. But thanks for making it this far. If you have, please hit that like button. I like to share what I do for a living because I hope that it helps somebody else out there who's trying to get away from a dead-end job or just wants something new in their life. I was once that person, and reselling has brought a tremendous and good change to my life, and I hope that for you. So let's go. We've reestablished the layout here because of the transition of seasons, and so I'm no longer starting out at jackets. I'm starting out at golf polos. I always love when I can find a great brand right off the bat, and Smart Wool is a banger for me. Now, granted, this is a merino wool sweater. Smart Wool just sells year-round for me, and so granted it is winter, a winter item, and it is spring right now. I'm still gonna grab it, and this guy's a little beat up, but it'll still sell, and the price is only $4, so it's a grab. This is a vintage Pendleton flannel shirt, and I love Pendleton. It doesn't always sell super fast for me, but it is a consistent, great brand, and it is a size 15, so it is on the smaller side, but I looked it over. I don't see any holes for moths. It's got all its buttons. It is definitely priced up, but I'll pay that for Pendleton. Okay, so this is a brand I'm not familiar with, but anytime I see something that has a really nice tag that says American made, and the fabric maybe has a more coarse texture, I always question what it might be. So this is actually a hemp pullover, and this guy has an incredibly good sell-through rate. I'm probably gonna go ahead and pick it up. I tend to stray away from size small, but this guy here, I'm gonna go ahead and lift. So I always say that reselling, thrifting, garage selling, sourcing can be a roller coaster, and today the thrift gods are on my side, and that's why. So a brand you don't want to pass, probably my favorite adventure apparel brand, Gort brand, Arc'teryx just sells. It sells for a lot of money, and that's because the retail on it is extremely high. So this is a no-brainer. Gonna lift. I always say I hate to sell shoes because I hate to clean them, but I also am not real fond of selling button-up dress shirts. But because the Durango Goodwill is in an area where there is a lot of white-collar business, a lot of businessmen and businesswomen, there is just an overwhelming abundance of donated dress shirts. And so, not my favorite thing to resell, but I always say you got to go after things that you can find that are common in your market and go to town with them. And so even though I'm not real crazy of dress shirts, once in a while I find a Ralph Lauren purple label or a Ariat flame resistant pearl snap work shirt, and those can be worth some money. So don't shy away from things that you don't like to sell. You're leaving money on the table. Well, luck is on my side today because this is a Sims flannel pearl snap, and Sims has definitely slowed down with me, especially the fishing shirts, but their outerwear and their heavier pieces like this always do good. So this is I love Patagonia. I find a lot of it up here at this store because Colorado people like Patagonia. This guy's a little too priced up for me. I sell these, it would sell, but I just wouldn't make that much off of it. It's also got the outside embroidery. If it was a few bucks less, I'd probably grab it, but the stuff I have in my arms is a lot better. All right, so this is where just being friendly and making friends with people paid off. Several of my other reseller friends up here, Josh and Nick, who I made friends with about a year ago, turned me on to 3 different pairs of Arc'teryx shorts, and these are all incredible. These will sell. Arc'teryx, again, is my favorite brand. The price point is there. And so I went back over to the rack that they found them on, looked around to see if I could find any more, and I didn't find any more Arc'teryx, but I found this pair of Hallerbro shorts, like a performance material. Price is there. It's gonna be a good day. All right, this Patagonia half zip Capilene base layer is coming home with me. It needs some love, but it's only $5, so that's enough of a ticket to take the ride. All right, unfortunately, these Cody James jeans are not coming with me. They're just too priced up. I only sell these for low to mid 20s. These are nice. They are a little big in the waist though, so I'm gonna skip another brand of jeans I love to sell, but price is just too high. But keep an eye out for the 20X Wrangler jeans. I do well on them, And if the price is there, I danced over here to the women's section. I think I tapped out anything good in the men's, but I'm super stoked about everything I found today. So I'm just gonna peel through the women's outerwear. There is a handful of resellers in here this morning, so the competition is out. This is a super cool Vans shorter style coat. It's kind of priced up though. It is canvas and it's kind of lighter weight, but I think I'm gonna have to pass on this. I've really been searching for sandals, but unfortunately these Keen paracords are priced way out of the park for the condition they're in, so definitely walk. All right, extremely incredible day here sourcing at the Durango Goodwill. My arms are overloaded with vintage clothing, a lot of Gorp, and a bunch of Arc'teryx. I couldn't ask for a better find, especially after the last few days being kind of slow in my local market. So now I'm gonna haul ass over to the next thrift store, see if I can't find a few things there, and then head home. So my stoke is just at an incredible high right now. I can spend sometimes months before I bump into an Arc'teryx piece. So to come up with 3 pairs of shorts, as well as a shirt, as well as all the other good finds I got today, I'm really happy about. All in all, I did spend just a little over $80 at the Goodwill, but I roughly estimate that the armload of clothing I had is probably somewhere between $380 to $440, and that's just kind of a rough estimate. But Arc'teryx pieces sell, and they sell for a lot of money. But I really want to put another shout out to my friends Josh and Nick, who also have their own little small business but kind of dabble in reselling on eBay on the side. I'm just tremendously grateful for you guys being that generous to throw those couple pairs of shorts at me. There was also another gentleman who kind of overheard us talking, and he found a pair and he said they weren't the right size, so he threw them my way. I just feel like all the good I try to put out there in the universe was nice enough to come back on me today, and that made up for a couple rough days of thrifting, as you've seen in this video. This week has not been good, but again, that's the roller coaster. That's the ride we're all on. Another high point for me today at the Durango Goodwill is that I got to run into several other resellers I know and just catch up with them. I love the friendships I've made through doing this, but I also met a beautiful creature by the name of Sloan. Her and her friend had a basket full of clothing. Sounds like they're kind of up and coming resellers, and they're going to be doing a pop-up sale here off of a sidewalk in Durango, Colorado. Durango's downtown has a lot of high-end stores and restaurants, so I'm super stoked for them, and I hope that she lets me know when they're doing their store. I'd love to go participate and support them, but I just love meeting new people. It's a part of my medical job that I actually miss, but if you're willing to be friendly, and if you're willing to just step outside the box of what most people do, which is generally just walk by, you might come across some great friends. And I really believe that you can find your people if you're just patient and your heart's in the right place. So I'm gonna get off the soapbox now. Gonna hit the Methodist thrift store. That's the smaller thrift store that you'll always see me finish off up here in Durango at. Hard to say if I'll find much. It hasn't been real good at that store, but I am just high as a kite, happy about everything I found thus far. So I'll shut up now and resume filming when I get to Methodist. All right, going at it Methodist thrift style. Let's hope for the best. So something that might help you is just being curious, but also having an eye for quality. So I looked up these Tread Lab sandals, not a brand I'm familiar with, but they looked cool, they looked quality. There was only 1 pair available and 9 pairs sold, so this is a grab. So my favorite part of the Methodist thrift store here in Durango is that the clothing prices are phenomenal, or they're a lot better than most of the Goodwills and the other surrounding thrift stores. But I haven't bought much clothes here lately, so hoping to do better today. Well, no real luck in the men's clothing section, but that's the game we play. I am gonna go ahead and look through the performance men's and women's rack, and then some of the women's clothing as well, and look around through the hard goods, and you never know. All right, this is a Troy Lee Designs raglan sleeve motocross racing shirt. It is only a few bucks. It does have a small paint stain on the sleeve, but I probably can get 20 bucks for this. Super cool vintage Letterman jacket. Don't sleep on Letterman jackets for the right price. This guy here is priced way out of the park, and it is a kid's small, but just cool to look at. All right, just another cool vintage Letterman jacket. This one's a Vikings, and it is too also a children's jacket. But yeah, I like old Letterman jackets, and I like old leather. All right, so just a couple things in that store. Didn't have to come out of there for a whole fortune, but I did pick myself up a Nike tank top just for my own personal use. My tank tops that I wear to the gym are getting kind of haggard, so that's the beauty of reselling. You can once in a while find yourself a nice piece and not have to pay a premium. So just quickly wanted to share with you the beauty of Durango, Colorado. And as you can see off in the distance, that's the San Juan Mountains up in that valley. And then as I pan over, this is the La Plata Mountains off to the left. Durango is just a mecca for mountain bikers, outdoor enthusiasts, hunters, anglers. So get on out here, try to visit Durango. Colorado itself is just beautiful. The people are great, and you can't go wrong with some fresh mountain air. Well, just got back home to my house here in northern New Mexico, and again, today was just an incredible day of thrifting, and so it's a great way for me to kind of finish out my thrifting season, which is always a hard part of the year for me, being a smaller reseller in a smaller rural market. But today was great finding all of these goods, these items to sell online. They're all great bread and butter brands that I'm comfortable with, and several of them will garnish a very nice resale value for being in used condition. So just always remember, reselling is a lot like life. It's going to be good one minute and bad the next. You have to ride those waves of emotion and believe in yourself, believe in your purpose, and always stay on point and never give up on your dreams. So thankful for all the new subscribers out there, and especially the old ones who always make comments. Grateful for you guys. You are the motivation that keeps me doing this. So as always, if you like this video, hit like, make a comment, or please subscribe.